speaking with someone in our community, and she mentioned that she's experiencing a financial crisis, not enough money to pay for rent, and is now faced with the possibility of moving back home and living with her parents. This brought on thoughts of regression, going backwards on the path. This feeling that she's not making progress and that the journey is somewhere else other than here. So let's clear this up. One is your life is your journey. So it's not like your spiritual journey is somewhere else other than here now. Here now is your spiritual journey. Two is you can't go backwards on this journey. So now that we've cleared that up, let's explore this a little further. This is actually quite common. This financial crisis, where something happens, where you may be faced with going back home, living with your parents, calling a relative, needing to stay with them. It's this feeling where you essentially are helpless and you need to ask for help. And this is really the part of the journey where you have to swallow your pride. It brings up these feelings of being a complete failure, where you feel very exposed, vulnerable. May even be humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed. But a lot of these feelings come up. I can't let others see me like this, where it feels like I've hit rock bottom. I can't go crawling back to my parents. They're going to think that I'm a failure in life. I'm too ashamed. I feel like I have no dignity. I can't just ask for a handout. So these feelings and so many more arise like this when our life seems to be falling apart. And like I said, it's really your identity that's falling apart. But it's experienced really as your life falling apart. Because what you consider your life is based on your identity. So there's a little bit of, I don't want to say reassurance, but it's kind of like reassurance to just know that you can't go backwards. That every step that you make is actually a step forward on this journey. So let's get rid of that idea. And let's get rid of the idea that the journey is not here. Because it is here. It's this very moment. And if you embrace this moment fully, you will realize that the journey is the destination. The destination is the journey. They're one and the same. And both are experienced here now. Now, something else that this person brought up was this resistance to going back home. And going back home meant that she would have to face a lot of childhood memories. So there's this resistance to going back home because a lot of these childhood memories are going to surface. They have to be faced. So you could see what I'm showing you is that this is the journey. This is the way. That things seem to be a dead end, like not having enough money to pay for rent for the next month, so that you have to call your parents and explain that you don't have enough money. Ask for that handout. Go crawling back. So then you're facing that shame, that humiliation, that failure. That is the path. And then when you're at home, everything that you are afraid to face, these childhood memories, that too is your journey. So this is often overlooked, that we can't really see it. But everything that's happening is happening for your realization. Everything that's happening is a catalyst to help you awaken to yourself. So by seeing it like this, there's just a sense of going with the flow, not fighting it. If it seems like you're running out of money, you can't pay rent, these thoughts of, I don't know how I'm going to ask my parents to move back home with them. It's just going with the flow. That's where this path is leading you. And any resistance to that, seeking for something else, would be suffering. It would be trying to bypass those feelings of shame or embarrassment or failure. Always if it feels like it's just easier as a way to escape something, that's your sign that you are escaping. That's a sign that you are running away from something. As if it's like easier to just live by yourself in an apartment away from everything that you don't want to face. So it's a lot like life just says, well, all right, well, try and do that when you don't have any money. We're going to just take away that hideout that you call your apartment. So you start seeing that this journey is really a lot like running out of options. These options that you had, they just start disappearing. These options were seen as almost like different paths. You had choices. You can go this way, that way. But then they just start disappearing. And then it starts feeling like there's only one path. This path is very narrow. Everything is converging into this one path, where then you are faced with everything that you were running from, everything that you were avoiding. It gets to the point where you can't spiritually bypass, even if you tried. So this is where courage is needed. Having this clarity, this discernment to see. Am I going to continue running from myself, or am I going to face myself? Because that's all it is. You are simply facing yourself. At the time, it feels like the unknown. But you are the unknown. So you're always meeting more and more of yourself. But on this journey, when you start seeing these signs, it feels a lot like you are on this journey and you're sensing the weather in the way that you can feel the energy when a storm is coming in. You can sense it in the air even before the wind picks up. Even when the wind picks up, it's at that point it's like too late. You can feel it in the air before. You just have this deeper intuition. And if you sense into this intuition, then you start seeing really the path. You start seeing how all these events in your life are unfolding. And instead of running from yourself, you face yourself and you embrace yourself. So it's a full embrace for what is, everything that's happening. And there's a surrender to what's happening. The surrender to what is. If you're running out of money and it looks like you can't pay rent, and it seems like all of these opportunities are just not available in a way, to become a source of income, to pay for rent. These are the signs. So then it's fully embracing that phone call. It's fully embracing moving back home. It's fully embracing being around your parents and having those childhood memories resurface. Because that's what is your journey. So why reject it? Why deny it? Why believe that your journey is something else other than your life? Like I said at the start, your life is your journey. And with total acceptance of your life as it is, you are at your destination. And that destination is right here. Now. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.